Sunjin walked into Minsu's office and told her to pack up. Minsu was confused and asked what was going on. Sunjin, looking at her, told her to just pack up her stuff and that he would explain later. Minsu refused and told him that she wasn't going anywhere unless he told her what was going on. Sunjin moved closer and told her that he didn't want her around Woobin and that it was better if she resigned and stayed away from him. Minsu, still confused, explained that she needed the job to complete her internship and that it didn't make sense to resign for a petty reason that she wasn't even aware of. Sunjin told Minsu that Woobin was in love with her and that he had confessed his feelings last night, which she couldn't remember because she was drunk. Minsu was shocked to hear this. Sunjin continued, saying that he knew his friend and how he could be sometimes, and that it was best for Minsu to stay away from him. He also added that he would help her find another internship since she only had a few weeks left to complete it. Minsu thought about how jumping from one internship to another would affect her grades. She explained to Sunjin that she did not see Woobin that way at all, and that staying wouldn't affect their relationship because Woobin's feelings wouldn't change the way she felt about Sunjin. She stood up from her desk, trying to convince him, but Sunjin gave her an ultimatum. He firmly stated that she had to choose between their relationship or staying with Woobin. Upset, he walked out. Minsu was left in a difficult position. She loved Sunjin, but Woobin also meant a lot to her. Despite his feelings, she still considered him a friend. During knock-off time, Minsu walked into Woobin's office. Before she could talk, Woobin stood up, walked to her, and told her that it was okay. She could resign. Minsu looked at him and said she needed to stay to finish her internship. Woobin interrupted her and said he would give her a good recommendation and mention that she worked full-time. He continued, saying that Sunjin was right and that it wasn't good for her to stay at the art studio and work with him. He added that it was best she hand in her resignation letter the next day. He said this as he walked out. Minsu stood there, unable to believe that things had ended this way after they had had a good time together the previous day. The next day at work, Sunjin sat in his office, looking at his cell phone and contemplating whether to text Minsu. He put his phone down, telling himself that if she really loved him, she would do exactly as he told her to. His assistant walked in. Sunjin could immediately tell that something was wrong. He asked what was going on, and the assistant mentioned that all the organizations they were in talks with had decided to pull out. Sunjin's heart sank. He had worked hard to make such progress. He was very close to saving Tech Bloom and finally being with Minsu. Confused, he stood up and asked his assistant why they were pulling out. The assistant said he had no idea, only that they had received emails stating that it was a financial decision. Panicked, Sunjin told him to set up meetings with them. They couldn't afford to lose when they were so close. His assistant looked at him without moving. Sunjin, noticing his hesitation, asked what was going on. With a disappointed look, his assistant told him they had tried to set up meetings, but the organizations declined. Upset, Sunjin told his assistant to call for a board meeting immediately. He said this as he rushed out angrily.